Okay, here's a little demonstration on how the micro switches work and how the buttons work. This is the micro switch here, and that's actually the switch, the red thing. You can hear it click. Now it's got 3 prongs, as you can see. If you look at the labels carefully, this one here at the bottom is labelled CO, and that's for common, and that's the ground. And these two here, they're called NC and NO. It's normally open and normally closed. Now for a switch, we want it to be the switch to be open, so there's nothing, no signal getting sent when it's depressed, and when we press it, it closes it, so that means it's normally open. Okay. So to fit them in, what we do is, starting from the all configured the same, there's a little sort of, you can see it there, a little nipple sticking out there, and start with the bottom one. Okay. If I get it right way around, so just hook it in, slide it down, and then just pull out the little bit, and it clicks in. And as you can see, when the switch pushes, it pushes the switch. Okay, and that is the action. So, in the mini-pack world, we have one cable on the mini-pack, which is, if you find it, give me a second. Here we are. This one here, the black one, which is the ground. Okay, and here is all of our bundle of grey wires, which are all spaced apart from one. Yeah, which is our which is what goes into this black one here, like so. And then we simply daisy chain every one of these leads into all of our buttons and joysticks, so we get the buttons in order. And if you look on here, it plugs in there, and we just repeat that black all the way around. Now if you're not using these daisy chains, just simply use a terminal strip or anything you like and just join all of the grounds from all of the controls into one place, and then take one wire into the iPack. And then on the iPack, once this is plugged in, which I'll show you in a few seconds, you find the wire according to the diagram for whichever switch it is that you want. Let's say this one here was classed as button 1, so we get this, and we find the NO, which is the bottom one, and there we go. So now when we press this, it will send a signal to the iPack, the mini-pack, and the mini-pack just injects a key into the system. And if, say, this was the start button, that would be pressing number 5, and that's all it is really. Okay, so next we'll show it working on the screen. Hello, I'm back. This is the inside of the trackball. That's the spinner. Inside of here you can see the wires. We have, this one is X-axis and this one's the Y. Followed me gut instinct, and I've wired it up, so as you can see this cable matches fine, green and yellow. This one I've wired up the orange and brown to the blue and purple, so it's well done to stupid wiring. And there you go, that's the third one, which is the spinner. So just to show you it working. Okay, that's the spinner. You can see there's an arrow, and that's up. So if I plug in the USB, it all connects up, and now you can see on the screen we have a trackball that works just lovely. That's a fair bit of spin needed to get across the screen, but that'll be fine for most games, and I'm sure we can change the tolerances inside the software. And I've plugged all of the buttons in, and the joystick and everything else. This is following one of the Slag Coin layouts. The buttons are getting lined up and nicely spaced. They're not too far away, not too close. Now this joystick here should have been 94 from the centres, but I've changed it to 84. But thinking about it, I think actually maybe 94 actually is a better place. The two problems with that: one is I put it closer so my hand wouldn't be too far at the edge hitting the side of the cabinet, and the same for the buttons. And the other problem, which I figured out might have happened, is if you look carefully down here, that's the edge of the trackball, and this is the switches. So it mightn't fit once you put the spades on. So what I'll do is I'll take it next door to the control panel, and we'll see if we can move these buttons a little bit across, and then move this a little bit, and we'll also see whether we can move this. So we might end up with two joysticks slightly out, but that's not a problem. But before we forget, if you look underneath at the layout, as you can see there, that with the gaps there's just enough space for the screws to go in, and that gap is 36mm between the two spaces there, and there's 33 here. There's 33 because they're offset. If you're putting them square, then you need 36 or whatever spacing you need. Okay, right, here's the inside of the, underneath of the cabinet, and we've got all of the micro switches plugged in. Okay, so coming from the iPack, we're going to find the pin number 1, which is the very first one here. Okay, and we're going to take our ground cable and wire it in. Okay, so we've wired in this cable, and we've now got a lot of black leads. So what we're going to do is simply take the leads one by one. I'll just do one first, and we're going to feed them into the common of all of the switches. And for the joysticks, as you can see, we've got 2 feeds on each one. If you've got a different joystick, you might just have a pin cable like this, which makes it just as easy. So what we're going to do is just, because there's only 2 switches, we can plug the ground into either one, and obviously one's up, one's down, one's left and one's right. And when we find the equivalent wire for up, down, left, right, we'll wire them in, and then we'll also take a note of which wire is in for up, down, left and right, so we don't forget when we're putting the cabinet back together. And just as a quick reminder, I've got the 4-way hole at the bottom and the 2-way at the top. Okay, just give us a few minutes and we'll wire up the earths. I've spotted one little problem straight away. For some reason unknown to me, as you can see, we've got the spade connectors here. Now, as you can see, that's 4.8mm. Now on most of them, they've supplied the wrong size, so I've only got 2.8s on them switches, which means none of the spades would actually fit. So that's well done. Right, so that's all of the grounds wired up. You can see we're going from the mini pack to the first joint here, and we're then just looping it through all of the commons and all the way around to the end. And if you haven't got the daisy chain cable like that, just use a terminal strip and then just wire all of the grounds from the switches and everything into the terminal strip, and then take one wire out of the terminal strip and join it to the spade that comes with the mini pack. Okay, and then you can put that sort of anywhere you want. In fact, I might even do it just to avoid all these loose chains here, so I might do a couple loops rather than just one. Next up, we'll just wire up the harness. So what we'll do is we'll take each colour from the harness, match it with the diagram given. So we've got, as you can see there, we've got up, player 1, up, down, left, right, 8 different buttons. Are we using 6 coins, start, etc. And that should be it. Obviously all these are wrong size connectors, so I'll just be trying to get some new switches off them, or if that fails I'll just crimp them up together a bit tighter. Okay, then here we are with the arcade cabinet and the panel mocked up. Now with my assistant Adam. Say hello, Adam.
Hello.
We're going to try out the layout. So hands on, do some, that's it. How about some button presses? Good. Does it feel okay?
Yeah.
Excellent. Right, okay then, stand away and I'll try it with a bigger pair.
No.
For the control panel, we've got our MDF 18mm, and I had a full size scale of my drawing, which was done using Inkscape, and I used the layouts from Slagcoin. And in the centres, I put a dot, and I just punched through it with a little mark. Okay. And then just using a standard drill bit. Hold on.